Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Got your Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where there was a big broadcast last night, a glitchy, problematic broadcast again. Every time he does something like this, Elon Musk, they've got some massive shutdown, don't they?
Yeah, but I don't blame him
up the system
for this
every time.
I think there's...
Oh, yeah, he said he was hacked by, I don't know, Democrats or something?
By
the CIA,
or something.
the NSA, the NCAA.
I don't know that that's who he laid blame on. But like you said, they sat down. I think it was historic last night when they did get up and rolling. I think it's best to start earlier in the day, though, at the KJP White House press briefing, where you have the Washington Post reporter kind of setting the stage on what we actually dealt with later on in the night. Clip one of the video.
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that or stopping the spread of
None!
that? Or,
no role, zero.
Sort of intervening in that. Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but we believe that they have the responsibility. These are private companies, so we're also mindful of that too.
Are you though?
But
I don't think
look,
so.
it is. I think it is incredibly important to call that out as you're doing. I just don't have any specifics on what we have been doing internally as it relates to the interviews. Not something that I'm tracking, and I'm sure the president's not tracking it either.
Okay.
Wow. So is she alluding there that they are doing something internally there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And everybody knows they are.
Yeah. I mean, that sounded like the letter that the guy over at the EU sent to Elon Musk earlier in the day, where he's like, well, you better make sure that what you're doing over there doesn't violate our digital services agreement here in the EU.
How about you stick it up your rectum?
Right. I mean, it's just the tyrants that run this planet are afraid of information getting to you, period.
Yeah, they can't win that way.
Unbelievable.
That's why when logic makes the scene, when it enters the battlefield of ideas, it destroys them. So they can't have logic. They can't have reason. They can't have a discussion because they've got no leg to stand on. They're wrong. They're evil. They've got a terrible track record. And they lie every minute of every day. There's just no way to defend what they do. And so they got to shut us down. They just have to stop us from being heard. Because we win. When both sides are heard, we win. So there was a delay getting things started after what Elon described, as we mentioned, as a cyber attack earlier. So then we jump into the clips themselves from the conversation.
Yeah, do you want to hear Elon kind of explain it?
I do, yeah.
One?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hello everyone. My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say.
Right.
And but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation.
Okay.
And it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we're undergoing a cyber attack ourselves right now. Is that right?
Sure are.
We got an issue.
Our feed is not up. So
What?
many people
Well, I
logged
mean,
in.
we're on Blaze Radio, of course.
Yeah, we're on Blaze Radio
That's
all
where
the time.
99%, let's be honest, everybody watches us on the radio.
So the TV's not up?
The TV's black right now, so we're working
But
on
they
it.
can hear us, is that right?
They can hear us.
All right.
So we're just
Well, this might be the ideal way to do the show, actually.
Yeah. Trump did it. Elon did it.
All right. So
And I have a infomercial for those of you that are like, what the heck is a DDoS attack?
a DDoS.
Yeah.
So this was probably happening to the Blaze right now. Clip number 3.
You can put your clothes back on, though, Chris.
You run a successful business through your e-commerce platform. Sales are at an all-time high, costs are going down, and all your projection charts are moving up and to the right. One morning, you wake up and log into your site's analytics platform to check on current sales and
Like
see
always.
that nothing has
I do
sold
that every
recently.
Yeah.
You type in your URL only to find that it is unable to load. Unfortunately, your popularity may have made you a target of a DDoS or distributed denial of service attack, a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal functioning of your service.
Huh.
There are people out there with extensive computer knowledge whose intentions are to breach or bypass internet security. They want nothing more than to disrupt the normal transactions of businesses like yours. They do this by infecting computers and other electronic hardware with malicious software or malware. Each infected device is called a bot. Each one of these infected bots works together with other bots in order to create a disruptive network called a botnet. Botnets are created for a lot of different reasons, but they all have the same objective: taking web resources like your website offline in order to deny your customers access.
That takes me back to the Schoolhouse Rock days. That's interesting. So now you know what a DDoS attack is.
Yep.
So that's what they had yesterday.
And Elon said, he tweeted out while the delay was happening, because the delay went on for about 45 minutes of cool elevator music.
Yeah,
right?
so we have that elevator music.
You got
Oh,
that.
no way.
Okay, look at
Number
that.
2.
Chris is all over this, man.
So people were listening for this for like 40 minutes.
I actually Shazammed this. I like this song. It's like San Francisco Wind or something. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
It has a name.
Yeah, it has a name.
It's not just generic MIDI music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
That's good.
Yeah, so.
Very thorough, Chris. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh.
I watched it though, because one of the things that I loved about this whole thing was how this is, I guess, your new fireside chat, and it was just the two most powerful humans on this earth.
I mean, this was a historic
just
night.
chatting their night
This was
away.
like watching a TV show with the rest of the country.
Yeah.
You knew what everybody was doing. It was, and so I think everybody stayed in good spirits, waiting for everything to level off. But Elon said they tested it with how many?
8 million.
Yeah.
They did a mock-up earlier that morning. They tried it with 8 million continuous listens, which that meant like 8 million people were on the feed.
Right.
And had no issues.
Wow. So it was definitely the attack.
It was
has
definitely a
it
DDoS.
100%. Yeah.
So the discussion actually happened, and we'll get into all of those details, what was said, what they did, what was discussed. But I don't know if you're aware of this, but Joe Biden is still technically the president of the United States. Are you? Is anybody aware of that?
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's a weird
So you're
development.
confirming that.
Mm-hmm. Confirm. We can confirm now.
Okay.
Technically,
that's good.
Joe Biden is president, and he did technically return from the beach yesterday.
Here we go. Look at this.
Mr. President!
Oh, look at the run.
The fake jog.
Who forced you to drop out of the race?
His feet don't come above the grass. Vigor!
Nobody can keep up with him. That's why there's no one around.
I'm proud of him, though. He didn't fake jog over the pavement there, or where the grass meets the pavement, where he always feels like, oh, here comes an insurmountable hill, a blade of grass.
He did do the fake jog, though.
He did it back there,
At the beginning.
but normally we get it at the seam between the pavement and the grass, so maybe he's making progress. No, he's not.
Well, was it Jeffy's point the other day that because he didn't do that move, it was a body double? That's proof right there. Inside the White House, KJP of course, had her daily press conference. Fox News reporter Peter Doocy piped up and asked her about the feud, about the Biden-Pelosi feud.
Thank you, Karine. How mad is President Biden at Nancy Pelosi?
Very.
You guys keep asking me this question. I think I've answered this question multiple times.
Well, he has admitted now for the first time in this interview that Pelosi is one of the Democrats who squeezed him out of the race. She thought he was going to sink the whole ticket. So how mad is he at her for that?
The president respects his good friend.
Oh,
shut up.
He respects her, though.
And I think it's mutual. And she also gave interviews, and I know you followed closely as well over the weekend. She made statements like preeminent president among the top.
Look at her looking at her notes.
Yeah.
She said all of these great
that says
things.
a lot coming from the former speaker.
Does it? Says nothing.
He respects his good friend, Speaker Pelosi.
I asked if there were any hard
You can't even answer that.
He respects her, and I think it's mutual. But I will let the president speak for himself, obviously.
So obviously, that's how bad it is. They can't even lie about it like they lie about everything else. You can't even say, no, there's no hard feelings. Why? The feelings are so hard that they can't even deny it. The president respects Nancy Pelosi. Okay. All righty. So that's good to know. It's real. I've been concerned about whether or not Joe Biden respected Nancy Pelosi, and now we have that answer. Whew, that's a load off. Doocy also asked Kamala Harris about Kamala Harris's plan to fix the border if she's elected president. I don't know what there is to fix. The border secure.
That's what I heard.
How long have you guys known that Vice President Harris does not think President Biden is doing a good job at the border?
Wait, say that one more time?
Well, she's now promising to hire thousands more border agents than there are now under President Biden.
Wait, but start your question again.
How long have you guys known that Vice President Harris does not think that President Biden is effective with his border policy?
I mean, that you're making a huge jump. Why? She did not say this. This is something that you are assuming. I don't understand why you would assume that. It's not true.
She has a campaign ad where she is saying they need more Border Patrol agents. If President Biden's doing such a good job, why do they need any more border agents?
I don't believe that. The president does want more Border Patrol agents. You know who's getting in the way? You know who's getting in the way? Republicans in Congress.
Of course, yeah. Could have guessed that.
The former president.
What?
Donald Trump. He's getting in the way.
How does he get in the way of this
I'm
administration?
not understanding the question because there's no daylight. The president believes that as well.
I can't.
And he's
you're done with
Stop.
his clip? Oh, he's done with his clip.
I can't. Now you're going to blame Donald Trump for standing in the way. Donald Trump is not in office. He has no power where this government is concerned. Donald Trump can do as much about the border right now as I can. We're both private citizens who don't have a vote in Congress. What do you mean he's standing in the way? What are you talking about? Wow. And what's there to stand in the way of when
the border is secure?
Right? The border is secure. How many times do we have to tell you? Get off us on the border. We couldn't do a better job at the border. Only 10 million people have crossed it in the last couple of years. What do you want? Airtight, vacuum sealed? It's not 100 million. It's not 1 billion. There are still people in other countries, okay? If we really had our way, all those countries would empty out and join us here in this country. That's what we want to have happen because that would collapse the country. She was also asked about the Kamala Harris plan to eliminate taxes on tips, which, of course, she stole.
Taxes on tips. So why then have the president and vice president not talked about this over the past 3.5 years?
So, again, the president supports eliminating taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Yeah, which you got from Trump.
And at the same time, what this president and this vice president has been able to do is help raising minimum wage. There are things that the president and this vice president has done over the 3.5 years that has helped hardworking people.
There you go. But
Bizarre.
We're not going to adopt this awesome plan of ours until we steal it from someone else, even though we've had 3.5 years to implement it.
Right.
I mean, just this administration sucks.
Oh, man. Jeez. Well, Newsweek called it her plan. Newsweek had a headline about how it's Kamala's plan
that's cool.
to take taxes off of tips. All right.
I mean, and by the way, if you haven't seen this, it was referenced last night in the conversation that we're going to get back to with Elon and Trump. But how about that Time magazine cover, huh?
Worshipful of her.
You like
Seriously.
that? Her moment. What in the world? Trump complimented that.
Did he?
Yeah, he said that she looked like Melania in that. I'm sorry. What are you talking about, bro?
No, he does not. Has he had a vision check lately?
But Kamala's slowly becoming Hillary Clinton. It's Hillary Clinton 2016 all over again. The future president tweet, that I'm already going to be president, the glass ceiling is already shattered. They already did that in 2016 and they lost and looked like really stupid.
Jeez. All right, let's play this last clip before we get to the break. She was also asked when Harris will speak to Americans.
As a member of the administration, can we expect the vice president to come out here and speak to the American people in the briefing room or something?
The president and the vice president speaks to the American people regularly, and that's where I'll leave that.
Oh, that's where she'll leave it. Okay. Where she always leaves things that she doesn't want to answer with no answer. Let me tell you about Birch Gold. These are crazy times. You might have noticed. But you need to have peace of mind and security. Security for our country, security for our leaders, security for our families. But you're not financially secure at all if all your eggs are in one basket. Gold and silver are an excellent way to diversify your savings. They're a hedge against inflation. They're a physical asset that's in high demand globally, from the wealthy to central banks. And through my friends at Birch Gold Group, you can own physical gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. You can diversify an old IRA or 401k for no money out of pocket into an IRA or 401k in gold and silver. It's one thing you can do to secure your family's future and your savings. Text PAT to 989898. You'll also get a free, no-obligation info kit and learn that precious metals play a role in our overall savings strategy. Just see if it's right for you. See if you agree. Text PAT to 989898. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers. You can definitely trust Birch Gold like I do. So text PAT to 989898.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
That was tough to get through. We haven't bothered with KJP for a while. But man,
you missed her.
Oh.
Did you want more? So hold on. Are you kind of subtly saying?
I think I'm okay.
I need more KJP in my life.
It's better to leave people wanting more than to oversaturate. You know, it's like when you're full at the dinner table and that one extra bite's going to make you barf. I want it so badly, but if I do, I'll just get sick.
And then you take it, and then you barf.
Right. And it's a mess. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's too early in the morning, at least as we record this. If you're listening to this later on in the day, and it's not that early, but I'll still get sick. So we're going to skip that and maybe get to last night's big Twitter event, the big event on X, which we mentioned was 40 minutes, right? The delay was
about 40 minutes, yes.
Somewhere in there. They were hacked. It wasn't just due to technical glitches this time, apparently, on the part of X. They apparently tested it with 8 million people. Do you have to get a hold of 8 million people to get on X at the time?
I think you just run that. You have the engineers run an example.
So you can pretend.
You can pretend
that there's 8 million people.
And you can encode it as, okay, you have 8 million people live listen. Let's see how many servers.
Oh, is that what's happening to the Blaze this morning? We've got over 8 million people trying to tune in.
8 million people trying to
that
tune in.
That must be, I'm sorry,
yes.
Y'all. That's what happened. Yeah. See.
Well, so we're still down.
We're up.
We're up.
We're up.
we're up.
Are we?
So
they're just watching. They're a day behind.
A blank screen.
No, they're a day behind.
No,
they're watching yesterday's episode.
What?
While the live feature is being worked on right now.
Oh, gosh. So just on Blaze TV.
But we love you. We love you. I have tweeted out radio link. Pat Unleashed has tweeted out, so you can listen to us. I've also put that in the chat. So if there's anyone hanging out in the chat watching yesterday's show, I put the audio. But of course, if you're listening to this, you already know that you're listening to the audio.
It's a good point. Point
That's
well
a
taken.
Great point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like it when people say, if you're listening to this, then, well, if they're not listening to this, they're not hearing it. So if they are listening to it, they already know because they're listening. So, yeah.
Good day.
Yeah.
So you want to get back into these Elon and Trump clips? But by the way, can I just say, this was a spectacular forum for Donald Trump. And we have a clip later on that we'll get to of him hanging out at a Waffle House. This is what Donald Trump needs to do.
Hang out at Waffle Houses?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. He needs to spend every day either at a Waffle House or a Cracker Barrel or some sort of restaurant like that, shaking hands, signing autographs, just answering questions of every American. That's what he needs to do every day.
He's
and
good
then
at it.
at night, he needs to hang out with Elon Musk. Maybe, once a week you think we should do this?
I was thinking once a week, but after the audio issue with Trump, I would say once a month. It was just too much for me. It's distracting.
All right.
That only gives us two more then.
Hold on
if
a second.
you did it that
Hold
way.
on. First of all, it's Tuesday nights with Elon. That's what Donald Trump needs to do.
Well, that's a good one.
Okay,
Tuesday
and that
nights
would give him a
with
total of a dozen. I've already done the math here. Doesn't conflict with football games or anything like that.
Oh,
Tuesday
okay.
nights with Elon.
That'd be
The
good.
audio issue you're talking about, a lot of controversy online last night, was it Donald Trump's dentures?
Yes.
Okay, so that was a very distracting thing. I think you can get that fixed. But I'm telling you, this kind of open-ended forum where they're just two guys hanging out at a bar chatting, it was a winner.
So for you,
was a
you want
winner.
weekly.
I want them weekly. I want them every Tuesday night between now and November 5th.
Well, I'm sure. So let it be written. So let it be done.
And
Keith has spoken. It's done.
And the point that I was making yesterday on Twitter about him hanging out at Waffle Houses is that he's a man of the people, okay? And he's in his element there. And there are people at these networks like CBS and NBC and ABC News who hate Donald Trump's guts, but it's their job to follow him around wherever he goes and report back. And if the only thing they have to report is him hanging out at a Waffle House talking with regular Americans, that's what people will see on those nightly newscasts. I think it's a winning plan. Waffle House by day, Twitter and Elon by night. Boom. Like you said, so let it be written.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm your new campaign manager.
I expect to happen just as you've outlined. So we'll see.
It's a winner.
We'll see.
It really worked last night.
It probably would be great for him. Is what he did last night part of his $40 million a month commitment? Was it 40 million, whatever it was?
For the super PAC, he denied that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
he denied that.
I saw they're still reporting it.
They're still reporting it, yeah, but he denied it. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what at the back and what that means. But to my understanding, this is something that Elon wants to do with all the candidates. Because right after he finished with Trump, he put on X, "Hey, Kamala, would you like to do a space with me?"
And of course she won't.
Oh, she can't.
No way will she do that.
She can't do that.
She won't talk to anybody. She won't even talk to the friendlies. You know, she won't even go to NBC.
And that's a point that Donald Trump made last night. She wouldn't even do this with the networks who love her.
Right. That are in the bag for her. I mean, you showed the cover of Time. That thing is worshipful propaganda for her. I mean, the way that they did the caricature of her, the portrait that they did, all the glowing stuff inside. I mean, it could have been written by her campaign. It's like Pravda. What a surprise when Pravda endorses, say, Vladimir Putin. What? It's the same kind of thing. Sad that we've come to this. And there's Republican David French. This guy is a nightmare. But
yeah,
we'll get to him in a second. Do we actually have the? Because I don't even.
Do you
have
want
it
the
in front of
clips
me.
from last night?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well let's just keep
Yes,
rolling.
I
Then
do.
just keep on rolling. Do you want to do the broke record thing there?
Yeah, so this is how Trump starts the conversation after Elon explains what happens.
We had a great conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor.
Come on. 80 million. All right. That's something else, yeah. All right. So, and then he made the announcement about going back to Pennsylvania, huh? Clip 5?
What were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were rudely interrupted?
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler, and we're going to go back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. Great. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler, and I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying, prior to being so horribly interrupted, but
so rudely interrupted by an assassination attempt.
Mm-hmm. Then Elon praises his reaction after the bullet.
Like what I found admirable there was that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And so
thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I wanted to let people know. I felt I was good when they were on top of me, covering me, actually, very much covering me, and very bravely. But I wanted to get up. I said, I want to get up. And they wanted, they have everything there. They wanted stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher. And I knew I was hit in the ear, but I knew I wasn't hit anywhere else. They felt I was hit someplace else because it was such a lot of blood. And they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they were saying, sir, you were hit in more than the ear. I said, nope. I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up. And so I got up, and the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think. And I wanted to let them know I was okay. It was very important for me to let them know that. And they went wild. You've seen the after. They didn't go wild when I got up because they didn't know, was I alive? You really couldn't tell. When I stood up, before the the fist in the air, they didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did. And when I put the fist up, they were just relieved and happy and thrilled, and the place went crazy. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was a terrible thing, but it was
incredibly moving. Yeah.
Yeah, the denture situation is that new, right? I mean, I haven't noticed that before. It's an interesting issue that seems to have just arisen.
I don't know. Was it because he was looking down the whole time?
That's what I was thinking, because it was a lapel mic connected to the iPhone. I think it was very difficult for him. Yeah, like right there. Thank you for that picture. Yeah. So I think it was just the angle. Like I said, it was fine. It was just it disappears as you listen more.
But it was trending.
It was trending.
Dentures was trending.
If you're a denture company, you need to get out there, because right now, people are looking for
denture grip.
Yeah, we get that straightened out before the next one of these sit downs. We're good to go.
All right. Well, as mentioned, we got much more of the Twitter conversation between Donald and Elon last night, and so many other things to get into. We'll do that next on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
with the technical glitch we're having, Blaze Radio, we just played a promo for Blaze Radio. Is that the only place you can hear us right now, live?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, again, if you're not hearing us on Blaze Radio, you're not hearing this announcement. But hopefully we'll get this.
Tell your friends.
Situated. Tell your friends.
I've retweeted it
your
out
neighbors
if you want the direct link to the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets in the meantime. Lindsay Stiltner. If that isn't the biggest wake-up call for free speech, I don't know what is. Two men can't sit down and have a conversation without being hacked and torn down. Yeah. Julian Bailey, I believe getting unedited and unscripted talking points from a candidate is a great thing for people trying to make an educated choice on who to vote for.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf 2965, technically, isn't Joe's title Pino? President in name only? Yes. Pino, whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce that. Douchebag, brain dead.
Yeah.
Cadaver in chief. Any of those apply. Bunter Heidencrack connoisseur. We may know that Joe is president, but does Joe know that he's president?
That's a fair question.
That's a good question. From Ofvet, Zof, I don't know. Part of this is crossed out. Yeah. Can't wait for Kamala's new unprecedented economic plan of drill, baby, drill.
Oh, yeah. She's going to rip off all of Trump's plans. Let's go.
That would be a good one to steal from him. I can't wait from CG. I can't wait until KJP retires from her life of devoted public service to take her permanent place on The View.
Oh, she would fit in
perfectly. Oh.
Yes.
You wouldn't think that could get any more unwatchable than it is, but it could, adding her to the mix. From Furion Energy, the shamelessness of KJP, blaming Republicans for the border is incredible. I can't help but be impressed with their audacity to lie so brazenly. I know, and they do it every day. It's really something to behold. A few years ago, you couldn't have been. As much as we were lied to, even then, you couldn't imagine that it could get to this level. It's an art form now. You almost do have to admire it. Now, back to the conversation from X last night. This is where Trump claims illegal immigration saved his life.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, and I mean, speaking of the sort of slide that got you to turn that saved your life, really, was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this, maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was
that slide. That slide saved
your
life.
No, the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but it had to be at that exact angle.
I mean, that's a great one. saved by illegal immigration.
You know, the incredible thing though, when you talk about the odds, you had to be exactly at that angle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was a fun line, but that wasn't the most fun line of the night, if you ask me. I think it was when he was referring to Joe Biden's IQ. You got that one, Chris?
With stupid people like Biden. You know, Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things
That's good stuff.
That's great stuff. And it's true. It's true.
Very funny.
He's not a bright guy. He's just not.
He wasn't 30 years ago. Can't imagine. He's got nothing on the board now.
Awesome.
That is a good line.
Awesome. Speaking of, this is a little off track, but speaking of Putin and the situation there apparently Putin is really freaked out over the invasion of Russian territory by Ukraine, which we talked about the other day. And I don't quite understand the hypocrisy of calling that out. He actually said, yeah, this is an unwarranted provocation of the war. Are you serious? Just another absolute mind-numbing incident where you just think nothing in this world makes any sense. Okay, you got the invading country pissed off that they've been invaded by the country they invaded. All right. Yeah, I guess that was really uncalled for on the part of Ukraine. Jeez. Also, Trump talked about Kim Jong-un last night.
I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, all the different things.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they were epic everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man of Little Rocket Man. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember all that. I remember.
It was a simpler time.
Yeah, it really was. It didn't seem like it at the time. So can you imagine a few years from now looking back on this stuff? Remember those good times leading up to the election of 24? You don't get those days back. So then Trump on his conversations with Putin.
And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do. And he said, no way. And I said, way. And it's the last time we ever had the conversation.
And that's it. That's the last time they ever had the conversation.
No way.
Because way. I wouldn't be surprised if that's really how the conversation went down with Donald Trump. That's so great. Then, of course, he's got to get in the fact that he won the last election.
Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different...
Worse.
Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want to leave, and they said, we can do it the nice way or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they did with this guy, and I'm no fan of his, and he was a horrible president, the worst president in history.
Oh, that's true. It's really true. And it is a coup, or was a coup. A bloodless coup, but a coup nonetheless. Or as Barack Obama might say, a coup. I love it when he did the Navy corpsman. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The Democrats, they think they're so intelligent. They think they're so superior. And then they show you the opposite every day, all day. Also, Trump made a joke about Biden being a uniter.
Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him, both sides. Yeah. That was a hard thing to do, unification.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Talked about Biden, the Biden administration continuing to come after him.
Lawfare, I think, we need to be concerned about.
What they've done to this country.
Obviously.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, we just won the big case in Florida. This was a Biden administration did something that's never been done in this country, and that's go after their political opponent, me, with this nonsense and just nonsense. And the big case in Florida we won, but they always pick a judge and a jury, and they use the local DAs, they use the local attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled Fani, Fani, and it's all a big hoax, and it's all run from there. Like in Manhattan, one of the top people from the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran the state. The Letitia James deal was run by a person from the Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before, and they set up a very bad precedent. It's called lawfare, warfare. It's a terrible thing, and never happened in our country. It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this where I can talk about it and people understand. I mean, you fight for election integrity and you end up getting indicted because you're fighting for election integrity. And when the day comes that you can't fight for election integrity, you don't have a country anymore. So what happens is they went after their political opponent, me. Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion.
That's not just your opinion.
Those
Donald.
one-liners are so
it's good stuff.
Okay,
Really good.
So can we revisit something that I mentioned earlier as a campaign plan for Donald Trump? These need to happen every week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, be great. They're not going to, but it would be great. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about the Jace case. How do you like bird flu? There's new cases of it popping up right now. Monkeypox all over Africa. Wouldn't it be good to be prepared for any eventuality? There is something you can do to ensure that you and your loved ones have the medication on hand when you need it. It could be a supply chain interruption. It could be a pandemic. It could be just about anything. Maybe just convenience. Maybe you're out of town. You're not near your doctor or your pharmacy. Have the Jace case on hand. This is a personalized emergency kit that contains essential antibiotics and medications that treat the most common and deadly bacterial infections. You get 5 of them here. And so you're going to have these life-saving antibiotics for any emergency that arises. Just fill out a simple form online, then a doctor reviews it, and they make sure that you're not, allergic to any of the medication you're going to be prescribed. And then it comes right to your door. It's awesome. You can get add-ons like Tamiflu, which is going to get harder to get after we have outbreaks. Flu season is just around the corner now. Jace is hosting an exclusive giveaway right now where you can win a Jace case for life. You could win a Jace case for every month, for every year for the rest of your life. Every year, the rest of your life. No purchase necessary to enter. So don't miss out on this. Giveaway only runs until the 31st. So just a couple of weeks left. Go to jace.com/Pat. When you buy, enter the promo code Pat at checkout, and you'll get a discount on your order. That's promo code Pat at JASE. Jace.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So with the Twitter conversation between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, Kamala's sterling record in California came up.
I mean, it's clearly like we just don't have a president right
You
now.
don't have a
That's just obviously
president,
the
and
case.
she's going to be worse than him because she is a San Francisco liberal who destroyed San Francisco, and then as Attorney General, she destroyed California. You talk about location, and we're talking about the sun and the water and all. There's nothing better than California. She has destroyed that. She was the original DA. She was the original in San Francisco. She was the original Attorney General in California. What she has done to California is, well, you know better than I do. You just left California for a lot of those reasons. And what she's done with crime, with cashless bail, where you kill somebody. I mean, we have states now you kill somebody and they let you out right away. I mean, you don't have to even put up, and then they never find the people unless they kill again, and then they let them out again. Our country is becoming a very dangerous place, and she is a radical left San Francisco liberal, and now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump.
Yeah, there's been some flip-flopping.
A little bit, yeah.
From Kama-Chameleon.
Yeah, and yesterday there was a news report going around, and it's from just in the last week or so, that this guy was 24 years old. He was convicted for the rape and murder of an 8-year-old girl in Santa Cruz. and he could be released when he turns 25 years old later this year. And so the reporting going on is that this is something Kamala Harris pushed. Parole for juvenile offenders, even when they're guilty of something as heinous as rape and a murder. So while I was looking for the details on that story, I stumbled upon another story from several years back. And the headline, I'll just read this to you. Kamala Harris buried investigation into predator priests and did absolutely nothing after becoming San Francisco DA, say victims who want their case files released.
That's how tough on crime
That's how
is.
tough on crime Kamala Harris is. And
she's powerful.
That kind of track record, because you don't get much of a track record when you're vice president, unless you're, a derelict border czar. But you need to really highlight this stuff that she was pushing in California.
Plus, she is part of this administration. So you can pin everything Biden has failed at right on her. And Trump should rightly be doing that. Really laser focused on reminding people she's been there 3.5 years. What do you mean you're going to do all these wonderful things on day one? You've already screwed up the country. Then he also talked about Tampon Tim, which is fun.
Her running mate approved, signed into legislation, tampons in boys' bathrooms, okay? Now, that's all I have to hear. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. And that means she believes in that, too. I mean, she picked this guy because he was the closest to her. A lot of people thought she'd pick sort of the opposite, but she picked an anti-Israel, radical left person. But she is far worse, they say, than Bernie Sanders. If we have her as a president, if we have a Democrat at this moment as a president, I don't think our country can survive.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. I don't want to feel that way, but you can't help it. You can't, based on what we've seen and how they've done such a good job destroying this nation to begin with, you got to believe that she would just finish it off. It can't happen. We just can't take that chance that the country could survive another 4 years with these dangerous, hideous, destructive policies. Not to mention evil. The evil that just oozes out of this administration is mind-boggling. 888-900-3393. Still a lot to talk about as far as last night's discussion between these two giants. We'll do that coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Let me take 1 minute, tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. This is so important if you have, you're really sensitive to smells like I am. There's just certain things I can't. Like, we had somebody in the party of the people who bought our house. They came over and were, checking out some dimensions and what they wanted to do with the house after they bought it. And after they left, the perfume of whoever lingered so strongly. They must have marinated in this stuff for like a week, a month, a year. And it just lingered there. Yeah. And I'm like, why have I not turned on the thunderstorm for this? So I did, and I mean in seconds that was gone. Seconds. And it was making me sick. It was so strong. It's the kind of odor that when somebody walks by your table like that, in a restaurant, it flavors your food.
That's gross.
It's disgusting. I hate it. You should intrigue people with your perfumes or colognes, so not assault them.
So intrigue, not
assault.
Got it.
Please. But if someone is assaulting me, you have a solution to that.
Yeah.
The Eden Pure. Just turn
Eden
it on,
Pure Thunderstorm.
and I'm no longer getting assaulted by the odor.
That's exactly right. So you might want to even take it with you to a restaurant just in case that.
Well, and the cool thing about the Eden Pure is you can charge them and take them with you.
Yeah.
So you can charge them up,
sure can.
And then take them with you.
So do it. Take it with you, and then it won't be flavoring your food. Go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code PAT3. These things are so powerful, so good. There's no filters to replace. I love them. That's Eden Pure Deals. EDEN Pure. EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code PAT3.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh my gosh. Did you just see what CNN posted up there? It talked about glitch delays Trump and Elon conversation. Then they put up there.
Oh my gosh.
It was
what was discussed?
Peppered with misinformation and softball questions. It wasn't an interview. It was a conversation. Oh gosh, these people suck.
Softball. Have you ever watched any of your interviews, CNN? With Democrats?
At least he takes questions.
CNN, have you met you? Because I think you got some studying to do. Just Too Muck and Futch tweets, Tuesday nights with Elon. Would that interfere with James K. Polk Tuesday, or would they celebrate that as well?
James K. Polk Tuesday.
All right.
Maybe the two can coexist peacefully. I don't know. We'll have to see. Carrot 3022. Waffle House Wednesdays. I love that concept.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it would be good. Tenacious 221. Other than sounding like his mouth is numb from the dentist, I think the Trump conversation went very well. Jeff Gibson. Can we tell Kamala that the road to the White House is the same as the one to Pat's house from Keith's place?
Oh, no.
She'll never find it. Well, yeah, she won't find it because it's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah. And from A. Just plain A.
Yeah, A.
You should write a song about tampons in the boys' room. We already have. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, we have an old one about tampons.
We do.
What was it about?
It's the Oregon mandate of boys tampons in boys' bathrooms.
Oh, all right. Play that. Let's hear what that sounds like.
Used to be an unusual policy.
You're doing, tampons in the boys' room.
Oh no.
Everything old is new again, I guess. How you doing out there? You ever have one of those decades where it seems like everything you've ever known is falling apart? From the economy to elections, down to which gender can be pregnant, things are getting weirder all the time. Let me tell you about it. Sitting in the classroom celebrating pride. It's not enough to love them, gotta be on their side. They say that they're gay, and I need to be too. They're also gender fluid, and they're headed for the loo. Tampons in the boys' room. Tampons in the boys' room. Nah, science, don't you feel me? Up with your rules. Everybody knows that boys bleed from the family jewels.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right.
Good stuff.
What a brilliant vocal performance.
That was great.
Yeah.
Well done, Pat Gray.
Thank you, yeah.
That was a year ago, by the way.
Golly, that seems like a lot longer. I barely remember doing that. Interesting.
That was posted a year ago? Or
I guess it was posted a year ago.
Yeah, because I'll bet that was, I don't know, many, many years ago. Did you remember that, Keith? I mean, it sounded kind of familiar, the tampons in the boys' room thing, but...
Yeah, that came to mind when... Because who was... I don't know. Because there's a tweet, right? And I thought, that sounds familiar. And so I'm going to see if I can find it in an old email here. Let's just see here when that might have been. Hell, I don't know.
Right now, kind of kicking around a little different feel for a parody song with Kamala. Because, she's changed her views on everything lately. The border is different. The economy is different than she used to claim. And now it's a disaster, and she's going to fix it. She's changed her race. I mean, she's a chameleon. Kamala, chameleon. You changed your race. You took Joe's place. It won't be easy to win with Timmy Walls. He's got no balls. He's got no balls. This campaign's for our survival. You're a commie Yeah, voice is not quite there yet.
No, that's good.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Thank you for bringing us in your writing process.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's
no
awesome.
problem. Yeah.
I'm just doing some lyric writing here. I think I picked up Tim Walz has no balls.
Yes, you did pick
right?
that up. Yes.
All right, I like that lyric.
Yeah. All right.
It fits.
Good. We got some more to get into with the discussion last night. And keep in mind, this was not a hard-hitting interview. It wasn't set up that way. That wasn't the purpose.
Elon
it was a
made that
conversation. Yeah. He's not there to challenge him on things. He supports him. That's already clear. Plus, Elon Musk is not a journalist. He's under no obligation to ask him difficult questions and hammer him and hold his feet to the fire. That's not what he's doing. So, they talked about people wanting the American dream back.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
people in
nice?
America want to feel excited and inspired about the future. They want to feel like the future is going to be better than the past, and that America is going to do things that are greater than we've done in the past, reach new heights that make you proud to be an American and excited about the future.
They want the American dream
this,
back. You know, they want the American dream back. More important than anything else. It's like you don't have that today because the people, they've been just sucked. They see incompetent people running our. You know, the Biden thing is very interesting. People just found him to be incompetent, and when I debated him, I was like, "Is this for real?" It was.
Yeah, it was just absurd.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And it's true. People want the country back. This is not the America we grew up in. It's just, sadly, it just isn't. It's like that line in the Chicago song. This. Mm-hmm.
Life has passed me by. Country I was brought up in fell apart and died.
Doesn't it feel like that? The country you were brought up in fell apart and died.
Yes.
And it shouldn't feel like that. We shouldn't be in that place. But this administration is doing everything they can to destroy the American dream and drag America down to a level that everybody else is. You know, they couldn't, I think they tried at first to bring the rest of the world up to our level, and they couldn't. You just can't. They're too resistant to it. They're too set in their ways. So now we're just going to pull us down to where everybody else is. And man, they're doing a good job of it. I mean, we lead the rest of the world in some of these extreme, goofy, dangerous, and evil ideas, not the least of which, abortion, where no other country on earth that I know of will allow abortions at any time during the pregnancy for any reason. You might just be inconvenienced. Doesn't matter. Yeah, just come in. We'll suck that right out of your life. Not a problem. I mean, even elsewhere in the world, the places that have led the rest of the planet on these incredibly progressive policies, on these communist policies, even they don't go that far. But they were also talking about last night Donald Trump's plan for the education system.
Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world. In the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country. And if you take Venezuela, for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous. They have phenomenal reserves of everything, oil, everything, and it should be prosperous. But if the government's wrong, it impoverishes the people. And so I think we should not be complacent in the United States in thinking that and taking our prosperity for granted, because if with bad government policy, we can run the country into the ground. And that's just something people should bear in mind. Don't take prosperity for granted.
Well, think of education. So we're ranked at the bottom of every list of the top 40. We're ranked number 40, number 38. Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, different countries are ranked good. Actually, China's pretty close to the top. They're a top 6 or 7. But we're ranked at the bottom, almost at the bottom, 38, 39, 40. In other words, horrible. And yet we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close the Department of Education, move education back to the states, where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho, not every state will do great because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. Okay. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and 15 of them, or 20 of them, will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working. They're really well-run.
Yeah. Yeah, he brought up Venezuela. He brought up Argentina and Venezuela. Venezuela in the 50s, 60s was the third richest, wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere. After us, and I think Canada was number 2. And then Venezuela, because they do have a lot of natural resources. What happened there? Socialism.
Yeah. Did that not sound like two guys who want the best for this country and realize that the American dream is passing this next generation by, and the key is education. But yet, did you see the stupid tweet from the Kamala campaign last night? This is their take on last night.
Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 25 agenda. He is not behind, nor has he endorsed Project 2025.
He said the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, he should be on board with a lot of it.
Yeah, oh, there's tons in there that's really good.
I mean, let me see the rest of this. Is a feature not of a glitch of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight during whatever that was on X.com.
Okay.
Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a great take.
Despicable.
Yeah.
And they continue to lie about Donald Trump's policies.
Yeah. And I was actually heartened to hear Trump last night. I don't think we have this clip, but where he talks about, look, I didn't have the best people around me in the first term. Now I know. Now I know, that I listened to some of the wrong people. And now that I know the people in D.C., and I'm much more familiar, I'm much more prepared this time. And I want you to can you imagine what his cabinet would be like? He alluded a couple times last night to Elon Musk being, hey, I need your help with something. Hell, make him Commerce Secretary. Elon Musk.
You could utilize him somewhere.
Absolutely. And then
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Get him in as press secretary, even RFK for HHS or something along those lines. Can you imagine a room with all those guys in there coming up with ways to fix this country? I mean, that gives you hope, honestly.
Yep. First, he's got to get there. He's got to get there.
Yeah.
So keep your fingers crossed. Say your prayers. Talk to your friends, relatives, neighbors. Show them the truth, those who don't get it so far, because this is critical. It really is. Also, if you're buying or selling a home, something else that's critical is to go to realestateagentsitrust.com and find a really great realtor. Man, are they important to give you advice in the lead up to selling your home or finding you the best home for your money. All of those things are so critical. When it came to closing and we had to pay the realtors, I was completely fine with paying our realtor whatever percentage it was because she deserved it. She did a fantastic job. I wasn't quite as excited as paying for the buyer's realtor. I don't understand that process at all. They did nothing for us. I don't think they did hardly anything for the buyer. But we had to pay them. We wound up, I think, 2.5%. So we paid 5.5%, $3, 2.5% to theirs. It didn't deserve a penny from us. I hate it. But if you want a realtor who is really worth the effort and the price, the 3% that you're going to get tagged. I mean, there's some new rules coming down for realtors, so you'll be able to take advantage of those too. But find a great realtor with real estate agents I trust. This is a free service. There's no reason not to try this out. Free service we provide for you. These are fans of the show. These are people who are full-time realtors who have great track records and marketing plans. Give it a shot. RealestateAgentsITrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
It's so great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Got some tweets here. Sons of Thunder 44 tweets, Tampon Tim Walls has no balls. We have song lyrics to back it up now. Yeah, that's right. So we've proven it. Patriot Infidel, perfume/cologne is not a suitable replacement for good bathing habits.
Thank you. Somebody had to say it.
That's a fact. Amber Trip-On. Let's see. What is that pink thing in your window? I can only see it when you show a shot from Chris's angle.
Yeah.
It's been driving me crazy for days.
So
not knowing.
this is the Dylan Mulvaney Barbie doll that was sent to us.
Oh yeah, thank you for that.
And there's
by the way,
there's a lot in here that you didn't see. You know, it says instead of Mattel, it says can't tell. It says detachable, reattachable member.
Oh, okay.
How subtle is that? It's got a Transformer logo. I mean, that's awesome.
Oh, that's
marketing
really
disaster.
good. Oh, that is good.
Dylan Mulvaney Barbie doll. And so when you see the pink box in the window, you'll know it's this prize right here.
All right. Going to get back into more of the conversation between Trump and Musk last night. Apparently, at least one thing they disagreed on was the importance of electric cars. Now, you might expect that since Elon owns an electric car company.
Yeah, but
Trump has emphasized that he wants to reauthorize permits for oil and gas drilling in the U.S. Musk said he has a more moderate view. He said that while he doesn't want to vilify the oil and gas industry and the people who've worked very hard in those industries, but over time we want to move to a sustainable energy economy. Eventually, you do run out of oil and gas, he says. It's not there forever. It's not infinite. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
I would say that was the only place that they had a disagreement. And that wasn't even
bone
that.
Of contention, but
it wasn't even that. I don't know what you're reading there.
Well, it's because Elon can disagree without being a total a-hole about it.
Yeah.
But I think he's wrong because oil and gas, as you know, if you listen to the show for any length of time, that's a renewable goo.
Sure seems that way.
It's not a fossil fuel. It's a renewable goo that's formed in the earth. They've been saying we're going to run out of it since the 1920s. At some point, won't they realize, hey, wait, we're not running out of it. We seem to have ample supplies of it.
Yeah.
If it were a fossil fuel, I think we would have run out a long time ago.
Yeah, and Elon made the point very clear and multiple times last night that you shouldn't target oil and gas companies and vilify them.
Yeah.
But one thing that'll piss you off when you hear Trump remind us that he opened up ANWR. Remember, we fought for decades to try to get ANWR and tap into that resource underneath Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And then week one, Joe Biden
stops
it. I mean, you're just like,
yep,
stop. This is why, you know what's not getting enough attention during this cycle is the House and Senate races. Because all this great stuff that Donald Trump wants to do, that he got done with an executive order pen 4 years ago, was quickly overturned by Joe Biden.
Yeah,
you've got to give him the House and the Senate and hope to God that the Republicans actually pass this stuff and codify it into law instead of letting it be overturned with a stroke of a pen on day one of the next term, perhaps.
So part of the discussion last night was the biggest threat being nuclear, not climate change.
Yeah.
You know, I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are and controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, you know, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. Yeah. You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden.
I love it. Yep. He doesn't sugarcoat this stuff. It's great. It is refreshing. And there was even more where that came from. And we got to get to some of these other things as well. The David French on MSNBC last night. He's so conservative. I'll show you
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. All right, let's finish up in the with the discussion from last night. It was almost 2 hours, the discussion between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. A lot of it really, really good. They didn't necessarily agree wholeheartedly on electric cars. That's fine. And, you know, climate change is a big issue for Elon, and not so much with Donald Trump because, you know, the climate changes.
And Elon made it very clear. Look, I lean left. You know, I have voted in the past for Barack Obama, and we've got the clips that'll illustrate this point. But thank you, Chris.
And before you continue, here are the numbers that Elon released this morning.
Okay.
So between 7:47 p.m. and 10:47 p.m., that was the slot that they filled. Donald Trump's space received 73 million views. During that same period, there were 4 million posts just about Trump and Elon Musk that generated 998 million views.
Wow.
Overall, 1 billion views discussing Donald Trump and Elon Musk last night.
Right. And did I see that all of the primetime news cable shows last night, if you add them up, this got more?
Yes.
Than all of those
this
combined?
got more than
incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I was saying is Elon understands this is a fight for the survival of this nation. This is good versus evil. And it was good to hear him explain it in those terms. But anyway, you said you got more clips there. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. What else we got here?
No tax on tips.
All right.
He's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago.
You did.
And by the way, they had just the opposite. You know, they had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you, and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, you know, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake.
Yep. Obviously, his idea that they're trying to claim for their own, bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Because what they have to paint Trump with is the brush that he only cares about rich people, the wealthiest Americans. He's only in it for billionaires, millionaires, and billionaires. Those are the only people who got a tax cut. Well, his tax cut was for everyone. Every American, including rich, yes, but also including lower income people. People who make less than the average wage in this country. Everybody got a tax cut. Everybody. They'll never admit that, but it's the truth. And so this really hits them where they live when you're talking about people who earn tips, because it's waiters and waitresses and people like that. Well, it's almost everybody now. I mean, everybody gets a tip. Everybody. You talk to somebody on the phone, they want a tip. No. How about no? But they also discussed America having an iron dome, sort of like Israel has.
I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just when you're looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity, and it's something that people have, I think, after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from other
100%.
countries.
And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build
yeah.
an iron dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have the best iron dome in the world. We need it, and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection, because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an iron dome? Israel has one. Some other places have one that nobody even knows about, frankly. But Israel has it. We're going to have an iron dome.
Okay.
Good.
I like that.
Yes.
Like that a lot. And we should have secure borders again under Donald Trump.
These are issues that I think most people in America would agree with, which is that we want safe and clean cities, we want secure borders, we want sensible government spending, we want to restore both the perception and reality of respect in the judicial system, stop the lawfare, and I think that's like, and how are those even right-wing positions? I think those are just that's just common sense, and that's I mean, would you agree with that?
100%.
Okay, very good. As we're playing this discussion, I just saw one of the cable news stations put up a slide that Kamala Harris is talking about raising taxes on the upper 1%, and restoring capital gains taxes to income tax levels. Okay. All right. So the double tax at 15 to 20% isn't high enough.
Leave us alone.
Now they want to raise it to 20, 25, 30, 35, 40%. Oh my gosh. You've already paid taxes on that money. There's got to be a limit. Plus, they're going to raise the corporate tax rate to 35%. They just are hell-bent on destroying our economy.
Yes.
And driving people out of this country to do business elsewhere. So, Elon talked about why he's endorsing. I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons, but here's Musk talking about why he endorsed Donald Trump.
I want to congratulate you. You've done an amazing job. You have definitely got a fertile mind. We can talk. You and I can talk about rockets.
Well, it's kind of you to say thank you.
Tunnels. We can talk about tunnels and rockets and electric cars. So many things. And now you're into the AI, and that's going to be another beauty, I'll say. So it's an amazing thing you've done, Elon. It's an amazing thing, and I congratulate you.
I mean, thank you. And I just to say here, here's to an exciting, inspiring future that people can look forward to and be optimistic and excited about what happens next. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of future that I think you will bring as president, and that's why I endorse you.
Well, I appreciate that. That endorsement meant a lot to me. Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot. And, we have a phrase, make America great again. It's pretty simple, but it really says that we want to make America great again. And we can do it. We can do it now. But if we were going to suffer another 4 years like we've suffered for the last 4 years, I'm not sure the country can ever come back. That's how bad it is. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the truth. And because of that, Elon went over his voting record history.
Right.
If you look at my record, I've actually been. I'm not like sometimes they try to paint me as like a far right guy, which is absurd because I'm like making electric vehicles and solar and batteries, helping with the environment, and I actually I supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president, and so it's not like I'm like some sort of dyed-in-the-wool long-term Republican. I'd call myself historically a moderate Democrat, but now I feel like
there's no such thing now.
We're really at a critical juncture for the country, and I think a lot of people thought the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not, and obviously, we're just going to see an even further left administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. She was brought up as an actual. Her dad is a Marxist economist. That's you can Google it. I mean, it's not a. We're not making this up. That's how she was brought up. So and we want to have a future that is prosperous. And I think we're just at this critical juncture. And I think this is a case of the America. Is kind of at a fork in the road, and and I think it will take the path to, like you are the path to prosperity, and I think Kamala is the opposite. Then that's my honest opinion. I'm gonna get attacked like crazy, and I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself, but I'm just trying to tell people my honest opinion, and I haven't been really active in politics before. And I'm just trying to point out that my track record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left. And so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say, I think you should support Donald Trump for president. And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road. And we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
That's exactly right. And he kind of emphasized that by saying that Trump must win in November.
I think really it's essential that you win for the good of the country for this election. And I'm just stating my opinion.
Yep. That's an opinion I share with Elon right there. All right, let's talk about something that's really weighing on a lot of us right now, and that's healthcare and the economy. It's tough right now. Healthcare costs are out of control, but I've got some great news for you. It's called Lassie Health. Laasy, Lassie Health. This isn't your typical health insurance. Lassie Health gives you access to the care you want without all the red tape and restrictions and the inflated costs in the healthcare industry. Here's the best part. Coverage starts at just $30 a month. So that's an incredible price. You get transparent pricing, comprehensive coverage, tailored to your needs. You're not paying for a bunch of stuff that you're not ever going to use. And it's access to healthcare services without breaking the bank. Check this out. With Lassie Health, you get over 400 prescription medications for free. Unlimited virtual mental health counseling. Free 24/7 virtual urgent care, lab tests up to 60% off. Imaging tests up to 75% off. Procedures and surgeries over 50% off. And that's not all. You can even choose plans with vision and dental, primary care, comprehensive health share coverage, and if you've got high blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, like I personally have, I think I'm lucky enough to have all those things. So that's, I got the trifecta there. Right. But you're in luck. As long as you haven't been hospitalized in the last 12 months before you enroll. Those aren't considered pre-existing conditions. So what are you waiting for? Head over to healthylink.com/Pat and check out affordable plans that put you in control of your health care. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, you can get your first month free, up to $100 off eligible plans. Get healthy, be healthy, stay healthy without breaking the bank. It's healthylink.com/Pat.
Beware, Pat Gray is unleashed.
One more thing we want to play from last night, and that's Donald Trump speaking about God. I think, he's had a little bit of an experience that
Different
makes him,
perspective now.
yeah, even more appreciative.
The bigger
And maybe
miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle.
Yeah. Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah. Then there's Republican, conservative, David French.
Ugh.
The only conservative at the New York Times.
I cannot stand
Oh,
this
my
guy.
gosh, he's so bad.
Oh.
He went on MSNBC to discuss the 24 election and the fact that he's so conservative that he's decided to vote for Kamala Harris. What a stunning surprise. Didn't he do the same thing with Barack Obama?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he did.
Every cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really conservative, but this time I'm going to vote for Barack Obama. And then 2012, I'm really conservative, but I'm going to vote for Barack Obama. Because Mitt Romney is so radical on the right? During the Trump-Hillary, I'm really super conservative, but this time I think I'm going to go with Hillary Clinton.
Okay, well.
2020, I'm really, really super Republican and conservative, but I got to vote for Joe Biden this time.
Make it official, man.
And now
You're a Democrat.
I know, it's just asinine. Here he is talking about voting for Kamala Harris.
Then if you've been a lifelong Republican, I've got news for you. This party is not the party you grew up with. And it's surprising to me how few people I encounter just in daily life who have fully absorbed that reality.
Oh,
So you're saying you're going to vote for her. Does that send a message? If she wins and Donald Trump loses again, if Republicans potentially lose the Senate, they lose the House, you think that's going to send a message?
It will send a message. Now, who knows if it's received? There's a difference between sending a message and absorbing a message. It would absolutely send a message that the path of MAGA is a path of electoral ruin.
But the path of Kamala Harris.
Right.
That's, the Democrats, there's a party that hasn't changed one iota in the last 60 years. Am I right? Who's with me on that, David? Are you serious? The Democrats have become communists.
Yep.
As we've discussed multiple times, so much so that the Communist Party USA has endorsed, they already endorsed Joe Biden. I'm sure they're on board with Kamala Harris now. Jeez. JFK would not recognize the Democrat Party. And everybody knows it, but they have to cast the aspersion on Republicans that they've become so radical, so extreme. Shut up.
Would you say that Democrats are constantly lying through their communist teeth?
I would say, and you just did, but I would say yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes what? I need to know exactly what you're saying yes to.
Let me look at the exact phraseology that
lying through their communist teeth.
I would say Democrats are in fact lying through their communist teeth.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would say.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Very good. So I alluded to Waffle House earlier. You want to see Trump in action at the Waffle House? Because This is him in his element.
President, this is Bunny.
Hi.
Can you tell him the story, please?
I am a Medal of Honor portrait artist. This is Sergeant Major Pat Payne, who you awarded the Medal of Honor. And this is actually his signature.
Do you think I could look like that if you did me?
Absolutely.
Give me that perfect jaw?
Absolutely.
All those muscles and everything?
Absolutely,
So how did he pass away?
No, he's actually currently still alive. He is currently active duty. He's about, I think he's in his 40s. He's still maxing out his fitness.
Is he injured
exams.
or anything?
No, sir. No, he is.
That's unusual.
Yeah,
And then a lot of
it
guys
is.
usually are pretty rough shape, right? Beautiful job.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I want to look like that guy.
Mr. President, my son is going into the Army next month. Can I get a photo, please?
Come on, get over
I
here.
hope you're his commander-in-chief.
You'll end up being a general.
I mean, just look at this.
Go ahead.
Can I have
Get
it?
back in office. Can I get an internship? I think you could. Is this your mom?
Yeah, may I have the honor to
That's how
hop
you
in?
turn out this thing. Come on, let's go.
Thank you.
You need me to take it? I can take it.
Huh.
Give me that baseball.
I love it.
Sign one for the... You know what I'm saying?
That looks like a bigger Waffle House than I'm
signing a baseball.
Walmart.
used to seeing. Where was this?
Yeah, where was this yesterday? I don't even know what part of the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Give it to me.
Look at him taking time to
Yeah.
shake hands, take pictures, sign autographs.
Just completely willing to hang out and
And that's
talk
why I
to
say,
people.
if this is all you do
Yeah.
in a day,
It's great.
then you're forcing the mainstream media to report on this because they have to justify their jobs, which is to tag along with the leading candidate.
Okay, and as far as I know, there's no news cameras there. He's doing this because this is what he does. He's
Wonderful.
real.
It's up to me for good luck.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's awesome. That's really good. Somebody who doesn't sign a lot of autographs in public is LeBron James.
Oh, what an ass.
Gold medal winner, LeBron James. This was LeBron the other night in Paris after Team USA won the gold medal.
Whoa, whoa, get out of my face,
Make
white
space,
kid.
guys, for King. Make space.
Make space for King.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
See how he treated that white kid? See,
Wow.
is a white kid. And we know LeBron's a racist. Now, he's got time to dance at the doorway, but not for an autograph from a fan that's just wanting to get a selfie, signature, whatever.
He's too cool. He doesn't have time for the little people. Anthony Davis was the same way over the weekend. Check this out.
Excuse me.
Just
me.
one. Come on.
There you go.
Excuse me? Oh, that's sad.
It
That's
is sad.
heartbreaking.
Both of them are sad.
Excuse me? Oh, no.
So you're LA.
Sorry, I got no time for you people.
But again, Donald Trump will stand there until every autograph is signed, every picture is taken, every conversation is had. But I can't be bothered if I'm an NBA star walking down the street just to get a.
Well, they just won the gold medal in the Olympics, Keith. They can't be bothered.
see.
They can't be bothered. They're too important now. Of course, they've won gold medals in the Olympics before, but they still can't be bothered. Speaking of the Olympics, here was somebody mocking the sport of breaking at the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. What's this lady?
My name is Rachel Gunn, but my main peeps know me
My
as
mine.
Ray Gunn. I think what people don't understand about breaking is that it's not just a dance, it's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. When you're a big girl like me, there's no
Big
days
girl.
off. 1 minute I might be making a sandwich, and the next time I'm hitting the sprinkler or I'm rolling around on the floor. You know, it just comes over me. I have a PhD in dance culture, so legally that makes me good at it. Good at dance. Breaking represents life. So, for example, when I hit my signature kangaroo move, kangaroo, Australia, Ray Gunn.
this is what
A lot of
happened.
people miss that. I'm actually a professor and I teach about the cultural politics of breakdancing. And breaking was invented by African American teens in New York City in the 1970s. So I thought, who better to represent that culture than me? Ray Gunn. People are saying I was appropriating dance culture because I'm a white woman. But here's the thing. When you've already decolonized dance, as I have done, you can't then recolonize it. It cancels out.
Sorry. There's no R in the word so. I would just like to, I'd just like to tell Australians there is no R in the word so.
Okay. So
it's not sar.
Right, so
It's so.
That's Australia, right?
Yeah.
Now let's go to Britain and just let me ask you this: if you were to say the word, supernova, is there an R in supernova?
In the first part, in super, yes, but not in the last part, nova.
Oh, so there's a supernova in the sky?
So go ahead and use the R in super.
Right, you only get the one R. You
leave it out. Just the one R.
Choose wisely where you place the R, Oasis.
Yes, exactly.
Champagne supernova in the sky.
I'm sorry, that bugs me. That's just a little bit of a grammar peeve of mine, just one of many.
Really?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got a few of them.
Do you?
And I rarely complain about it because, let people be who and what they are and speak the way they will. So it is unusual, I know.
Do we have time for an animal video here in the closing minutes?
I don't think we do. No.
Shoot!
No.
Oh!
Yeah, I know that's heartbreaking.
Crap!
Heartbreaking. But speaking of Olympics and gold medals, I don't think we've even mentioned that both the trans women in the competition, both the women with the XY chromosomes, won the gold medal. Shockingly, both men beat up women in their sport of boxing. Now, their countries, of course, have maintained and are vehement about the fact that they are women. They were born women. They're still women. They'll always be women. How did they come up with the XY chromosome then? I don't know. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Weird. All right, we got overtime coming up, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
The numbers don't lie! Unleashed.